Good afternoon. I'd like to share some information with you today about our upcoming Professional Development Day. Will take place on January the 3rd. It's Tuesday. That's our teacher work day. Just some things I want to show you and share with you about this. This will take place at Ridgeview. All professional staff are invited to participate. I just want to show you a clip here of some information dealing with the model that we're using for what we're going to call the Ed Pack, but it's an Ed Camp model, but I just want to show you some information dealing with that.
What's going on and where are we going in education?
How can you play with this stuff in a way that kids are going to get something out of it?
I love how much technology is integrated into it. We're on Twitter and you can just go and you can see what's going on not only in your own workshop, but what's going on in all the other workshops at the same time.
You can see it in their faces. Everybody wants to raise their hand and talk because they have so many ideas to contribute.
I think the thing to keep in mind first is this is a conversation. We don't mean this to be a lecture.
I see a commitment from the educators here at this conference to engage and make this a really positive experience.
I'm really here to learn from everybody. That's why I came today.
Ed Camp is an effective professional development. I can take what I've learned today back to my school and use similar ideas in our own professional development.
Our hope is that school districts across the nation will adopt the Ed Camp model for professional development.
Ed Camp has provided opportunity for people to think and talk about their educational philosophy, attend something for nothing, and come away with great ideas. I think that
the next slide here is just talks about the idea about an Ed Camp is that participants share their expertise and their learning, and it's going to be based on discussions and questions and ideas from participants. From the perspective of the central office, it's difficult to plan a one-size-fits-all professional development activity. So we came up with the idea to try to do an Ed Camp, and it'll be a first time that we've done this. So the success of this really depends on your input, and I've got a survey ready to come out. I will put those out in the buildings here soon, and also send those out to you so we can put some ideas together before January the 3rd, and that's going to help us to plan that a little bit. But here's another little clip of this is from Ed Camp Foundation and where this idea originated.
Leveraging this as well for their professional learning, and maybe not just a large Ed Camp for a metropolitan area.
What districts are doing is taking the model and in some cases just running strictly an Ed Camp so that they have a day of professional learning and they host it and run it as an Ed Camp. In other districts, they are taking certain sessions during the day and using the participant-driven model, but also if they feel the need to run a session on bullying and they want every teacher in the district to get that one session, then they can sprinkle that throughout the day and have most of the sessions about conversations, but then have one or two sessions that they need for their teachers to attend. But the teachers can then choose, do they want to do it at the beginning of the day or at the end of the day? And the Ed Camp Foundation is
Okay, here's another thing I just want to make you aware of. Just to say your input into this process is important. So there's going to be a survey comes out. It's linked to this QR code. If you don't see this in a building or it's not emailed to you, you can scan this QR code and it'll take you to a survey that I put together in Google, and just asking for some things that you would like to discuss or information that you would like to hear more about. A couple of things I want to just make you aware of. You can bring your own devices if you have a laptop, if you have an iPad, if you have a smartphone. Any of those, you're encouraged to bring those because we're going to be able to share and discuss ideas. And the purpose of this event is to collaborate and ask questions. There's not going to be a major presenter. There's not going to be a particular schedule of events per se. This is going to be based on the information that you want to hear and things that you as a faculty want to know more about. So some of the ideas that with this, by mid-year, there's several issues you may have encountered, and you may or may not have been successful with those, but there's also other teachers with similar experiences. So we as lifelong learners want to be able to share those ideas with other people and ask questions, and what are you doing and how are you making things work in your class when I may not be able to. And we're going to have every professional staff member in the county that's going to participate in this, so it's going to be, everybody's going to be on equal footing. There's no sage on the stage per se, so nobody's going to get up and say, this is what you need to know, and this is what I'm going to show you that you need to know. So it's not going to be set up like that. A couple other bits of information that you need to know about. This is kind of tell you what you need to do an ed camp, or in our case it's called ed pack. But there will be door prizes. I want you to know that. And what this is all about, if you start a conversation with an idea, a problem, or a doubt, or an opinion, or a story, and you don't have to be an expert to do that, and somebody's potentially can help you. So if there's not anybody there to help you, you can go to another session where somebody is helping you. So I just want you to realize that this is more about your needs rather than a prescribed thing that's going to happen, and we're not going to do it that way. This is their agenda, preliminary agenda. Just want to make sure you're aware of that. This is not necessarily set in stone. We're going to try to meet at Ridgeview on Tuesday, January the 3rd. That's the day before the kids come back to school after Christmas break. We're planning on having breakfast and an opening session that's beginning at about 9 o'clock. It will take a few minutes to get the schedule ready once we get some ideas there. So we'll do an opening and a breakfast from 9 to 9:45, and then the first session will be from 9:50 to 10:35. Second session from 10:35 to 11:20, and then lunch will be on your own. We will have breakfast supplied for you on site, but lunch will be on your own. So there's several places that you can go to have your lunch, and there's an hour for that. So hopefully that's sufficient time for everybody to get where they need to go and get back. Then the third session will start at 12:30 to 1:15, and then from 1:15 to 2 o'clock will be the final session, session 4. And then from 2 to 3:30 is what we call the smackdown, or the door prize. The smackdown is basically what's going to happen is there's going to be a site set up for you to do input into this, electronic input, or to come in and talk about some things that you've heard about, or people that you've heard about that are doing things well, or you'd like to hear more about, or just to kind of give a summary of the day's activities. So again, the success of this whole activity depends on your input and how much that we as a faculty and we as a professional staff of Dixon County Schools participate in this. So again, I just want you to know what the plans are, and try to get thinking about this as much ahead of time as we possibly can, and see how well it goes from there. So if you have any questions about it, or if you'd like to know more about it before January the 3rd, you can email me or call me here at the central office, and I'll try to pass that along to you. But I thank you very much for your time.